Alrighty, we are live on a Sunday night. Anybody else getting their butt kicked or will be after the night games and the Monday night game in fantasy? It's not fun. But we are doing a stream called the Answering Your Financial Questions stream live, and I'm Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach Steve Money, and you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation by emailing, as it says right in the ticker below, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, and we will work out that appointment time and date, and that will be by via video conference. Let's answer some questions. Oh, forgot to give a plug out for my youtube.com/Coach Steve Money is where you're watching this. And if you just scroll down my past the Oak Island playlist, you'll see my financial content, and that would be the Ramsey Show After Show 600 of those bad boys. So plenty of time of listening to me talk if you want to listen to all of them. Answering Your Financial Questions is the other playlist, and that is this stream. That happens at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And the music playlist has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, including How to Do the Baby Steps Right. Because people do them wrong all the time, and they either know they're doing it wrong, but they still say they're doing the baby steps, or they are not aware that they're doing it wrong. Anyway, let's answer some questions and help some people out. Give a thumbs up if you don't mind. That is called liking the video, and that helps the algorithm. Oh, let me get a little bit closer. A little bit closer. Repping Lord Vader today. And not Christmas early behind me, which Sid will be happy about. Those are spiders. You probably can't tell, though, but those are spider lights. Where was I? I was answering questions. There we are. Okay. Need advice about home buying. This from Irish LFG. Let's effing go, I guess. Or looking for a group, as it was back in the old MMORPG video game days. Spent so many hours on that. Should have been paying more attention to finances instead of doing that. But, you know, you live, you learn. That's Alanis Morissette, Kids. That song came out in the 1900s. Need advice about home buying. 40-year-old. Married with 3 kids, who owns a home with 10 years. For 10 years, we've been on our own, and moss grows fat on a rolling stone. Anyway, 10 years on a 15-year mortgage with a 2.5% interest rate. Okay. Following the rules so far. So you already bought it. What are we trying to do? Are we trying to upgrade? Everybody always wants to upgrade when they don't need to upgrade. And they have better things to do with their money. But of course, if you know your own baby step 4, 5, and 6, you are the one that gets to decide that kind of thing. Been saving up for retirement, and I think this is AMD. Maybe that's what their retirement has some AMD. Of course, it would be in your large cap mutual fund. And child's colleges. The child is going to 2 colleges, or there's more than one child, and you put apostrophe in the wrong place there. But I think my growing family needs. The most overused word in the Ramsey, oh, I've got a problem. Oh, I've got a question. Oh, I want to make a comment. Need is incredibly overused. Because you probably don't need it. You want it. You know, I needed to do that. Oh, I needed to do a home remodel, so I needed to take a HELOC out to do that. That is a want. You do not need to do that. If something's broken, sure, fix it. But because you have a leaking faucet, you can just get the faucet fixed. You don't have to do an entire kitchen or bathroom remodel. But people, of course, as we all know, are nutty, and it's Halloween week, so it's a good week for being nutty, I guess. Needs, again, larger home, and I would have to know square footage, how many people living in it, and square footage, and how many bedrooms, and then I'll be the judge of that. And I want an in-law suite. For taking care of my aging mom, is it wise to pause retirement for 2 to 3 years? Currently only saving 6% of income, and child college savings currently only 1% of income, so hardly anything. So you're doing it wrong right now. You're already doing it wrong. And why are you not putting the 15%? See this, and now you want to save to buy a bigger house. But you're not following the baby steps. You're not doing it correctly, because you're not, the kid college. I mean, that's up to you. You can start slow, especially if the children are younger. That's fine. But I'm pretty sure it's clear here. Let's check the baby steps to make sure Mr. Ramsey did not change it over the weekend. Oh, look, he didn't. It still says 15% of your household income, and that, of course, means gross annual income, not 6%, not just up to the match. No, 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 and no, you're doing it wrong. Where is the rest of the money going? So I feel like, for me, these people are spending a lot of money. But you never know. They might not be. All of the money going elsewhere, might not be an issue. But I would need to know where it would be going to adequately advise. Because guess what? Sometimes when we want to do something, or even sometimes when we need to do it, you can't. Because the green rectangles that your employer pays you, they can only be used for one thing. Each one of them can only be used for one thing. I mean, you can go to the bank and cut it up and spend 50 cents here and 50 cents here. But basically, if you get $1 from your employer, you give it to utilities or some other expenses that you have, and they better darn well all be necessary. So I got to see where your money's going. If you're doing vacations instead of doing the 15%, you're doing it wrong. For example, you can do vacations in step 4, 5, and 6, of course, but you need to be doing the 15%. And you may have already bought a house that's too expensive for you, possibly. Oh, married with 3 kids. Okay, so there's 5 people in the house. Okay, and wants it to be a 6th with mother-in-law. His aging. He just called it an in-law suite. It would not be his in-law though. It's his blood relative. Where were we? For a while. This would be 2 words. A and while is 2 words in this case. To cover additional cost of interest rate, roughly 6% on a new 15-year mortgage to purchase a new home. Okay. It also has to cover not only the interest rate, but it has to cover, I mean, you're not able to invest now as much. I mean, did you already, like when you set your life up here to only be doing 6%, and 1% to kid college and all the other money, is that already going to a house savings fund for the new down payment? Yeah, you got to have a down payment, not just to take care of the interest, because it's now going to be 6% and you have 2.5%. We have substantial equity in our home and would be making a 50% deposit. Okay, that sounds better. So probably, yeah, it could be that they're not going crazy with stuff and they are actually saving for this, so that the mortgage isn't more than 15%. The payment isn't 15% more, or is it more than 15% of the take-home pay? My goodness, don't do a show for a couple days and forget how to talk. And the new payment would work with our current budget, except for the, let's see, I didn't realize that it had the ellipsis down there, which means there's a lot more to it, or just some more to it. Where we at? Except for the retirement / college savings piece. Yeah, see, that is why you don't buy too much house. It's so you can do steps 4, 5, and 6. That would be the reason you keep those costs down on that. My job is secure, making about $94,000, with potential for raises. I also got to know where you live, dog. Because you might be living... Oh, my goodness. I just saw a word down there. Anyway. Potential for raises beyond cost of living. Okay, so again, this is what we call, actually the whole thing is justification station for doing something that might be dumb, is what they do. Or against, just against the advice, even if you don't go so far as to call it dumb. But this is, you have the potential. Potential does not mean it's definitely happening, right? So again, need is up here and up higher, and here is potential. So need is not a need in this case. You just want to. You do not need to do that. Your mother can live with your sister or something like that. Who knows? Or in an old folks' home. I understand you might not want to do that, but there's going to come a cost with it. Mom is a stay-at-home mom who homeschools to save money on private schools. See, this again is justification station saying, see, look how we're spending money by not going to private school. You can go to public school instead. And if the kids are old enough to be, if they're all school age, then mom can work, and that can help facilitate this. Also, does mom have any money? Not the wife, his actual mom. I think when he says mom here, it means his kid's mom. And does a part-time work for about $6,000 a year. That's nothing. But does not feel capable of adding any paid additional work. Yeah, so again, this is a thing where you have to decide if it's actually a need or you just want to do it. I understand, your mom might not be in great shape. She might need help. You might just want her close. Any number of reasons. And that's fine if you have the money for it, but you cannot do all these things. You can't upgrade the house and have your wife not be working, making $6,000 a year doing something. At least that, it's better than nothing, but still, that's a little bit better than nothing anyway. But all the way you're doing everything is causing this to be a potential problem. Likewise, I have side work for $8K a year, so can't add anything to my plate. Yes, you could. You could do side work that brings in more than $8K a year for the same amount of hours. Yes, dude. See, people get like one side hustle, and then they think they're locked into that and have to only do that. No, you can look for something that makes more money than 8 additional K a year. My goodness. I did that. I was working full time, and then I did make way more than 8K a year by working 20 hours on top of that. So I was working a total of 60, sometimes 70 hours some weeks when I was on step 3 to get that done faster. And I did get it done faster, and then I also decided, well, I would just be staying at home playing video games or something. So why not keep working? So I worked at an additional 4 years. We do have discretionary money of $300 a month. Again, that's nothing. But currently using that to better my health for another year. But then it becomes free. What do you mean using that to better your health? See, this is nutty when they start use actual words that mean something. Spending the money to better your health on what? On what? Is that health insurance? Is that a gym membership? Is that some kind of nutty protein powder? Who knows? So you being so vague. 2 older cars, but neither in need of replacement for the next 5 years. Okay, and the other person that would write, probably the next actual question that'll come up, will be somebody that says, "Oh, my cars are older and they need to be replaced." See, everybody makes up their own crap. Anyway, thoughts and advice. I'm skeptical. Is this a good idea to hunt and pause retirement savings? Thanks for the help. I'm at 46 comments. I'm kind of interested what people might say. But, and a lot of people say, props for getting advice right. And not spelling it with an S-E, because that's advise, that's a verb. You don't need advise, you need advice, just like you put. So good job on that. But a lot of people in these comments will say, oh, you can do that. You'll be fine with that. Not if you want to follow the Ramsey baby steps, which isn't that why you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit? I don't know. People have different reasons sometimes. So I would need to know more about what's going on here and where is the additional money going. And if there is not any, you cannot do everything all at the same time. Okay. And, this 50% deposit, I'm certain, didn't say it, but I'm certain it includes the money they've been saving, and that may be where it's all going. Don't know. Would have to find out from this person. The money they've been saving to do this, it sounds like that's been happening. And the equity from the house. But also, that is probably the amount that will happen if he stops doing kid college and retirement, stops doing baby steps 4 and 5 to upgrade the house. And that in general is going to be a no. That's a no. Now, to buy your first house, If you want to delay, you can do that. Delay retirement saving. You can delay that up to 3 years. If you would like. But trying to do that later, and of course, some people would say that's a contradiction. If you can't do it now, you should be able to do that anytime. That's just like there's a basketball player somehow skipped college to go play in the G League, and that's like I don't really know about basketball, but I think that's overseas league, and they pay you to do that, and so that's a professional. And once you become a professional, you're not supposed to also go back to college. But he's at Louisville or somewhere. I can't remember. He's at some college, but yeah. So that's interesting as well. So many sidetrackings there, and I made the whole stream about this one question. My bad. So let's get on with it. So yeah, I would have to know a lot more, but I'm leaning no, and I feel 75% certain that it would be a no after I find out that stuff, because you cannot say that. You can, with especially you're making it sound better by saying it'll be a 50% deposit with my equity, but it doesn't say. Let me make sure. Where was it? I don't even see down payment in there now. Or put down. Oh, making a 50% deposit. That's called a down payment, my friend. And the new payment would work out right. Oh, we have substantial equity in a home and would be. So, if you have that much money now, in addition to your equity, then again, maybe that's where all the money's going. And they've already been not doing steps 4 and 5 correctly, possibly because of that. All right. Let's do a different question, shall we? I think I'm okay, but I'm not sure this is the Don. I think I'm okay, but not sure. Saw the ellipses early this time. I'm on family medical leave. I did this one already. They switch places sometimes in the order. What was it? I think I had a mental breakdown, but I'm not sure. We'll find out. But how you're doing? You need to do the baby steps. That's basically what you need to do here. And I believe that was my answer the first time, but it was after talking a lot longer than that. Figinator. How to sell your car when it's upside down and get a cheaper one. You borrow the money. Mr. Ramsey is fine with you going down to your bank or wherever and borrowing $5,000 to put with the money you get from selling your car that will pay off the car and get rid of that larger loan. For example, $5,000 loan replaces the $20,000 loan or more that you had on the dumbass new car. You did it wrong, so that's how you fix it. And so a lot of people, you got to dive in a little bit. Yes, Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy and the no debt leverage guy, but does it not make you have less debt? It's just like paying off debt. If you exchange a $20,000 loan for a $5,000 loan instead. Alrighty. Just in case you did not think it was about behavior, I think we read that again, but that's Something there. What does it say? If I only made X, I could get my finances in order. Yeah, I think I saw this one too because I talked about it because I was one of those people. I could have been so much better off now if I had listened to Mr. Ramsey's advice. I knew it was good advice, but I was these people. I was just like all these people that thought, oh, most of the people that call in make way more money than I do, and so this doesn't apply to me. That's bullcrap. And of course, I was dumb. I was a dumbass, and that's how I can easily spot dumbass behavior because I was doing that. So yeah, it is about behavior, about you not being dumb and doing dumb things and assuming that it doesn't work for you because of the amount of money you make. No, you always, no matter what, you have to live within your means. And buying stuff on debt does not help if you don't make a lot of money. The less money you make, the worse going into debt is for you. Of course, it's bad for everybody. Which is why Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy. Vert 1979. Or no, I don't think that song says 1979 in it at all, doesn't it? But it goes, yeah. What is it? Is that by the Smashing Pumpkins? Can't remember. That's from the 1900s, I think. I don't think that went into the 2000s. The great vehicle debate again. What is this simple question? What is a nice car? Exactly. So people, again, they paint themselves into a corner. It is possible for you to buy a $2,000 to $5,000 car, have it checked out by your mechanic before you buy it, and then you may or may not have problems with it, or any more problems with it than you would if you bought a $10,000 car, doubling the price. You may have worse problems with that. But it's not needed to have a nicer car. That is not a need. You need to get from one place to the other, and also you need to get your dumbass out of debt and on a higher baby step, don't you? The answer is yes. I'll help you. What to do with mortgage pay off by age 67 retirement, or pay extra years? You want to be putting more to it. You're doing, theoretically, you have no debt, no non-mortgage debt, and you have your full emergency fund, and you're investing into retirement, the 15% of gross income, addressing kid college, and then any extra money you have that is not going to expenses or planned fun things, which you can do in steps 4, 5, and 6. Any extra should be going to the house. It doesn't go and sit in a until we want to spend it fund. That is not the advice. Check again to see if Mr. Ramsey changed this over the weekend. He did not. Look at this. Steps 4, 5, and 6. Again, 15% retirement. Save for kid college. And pay off your home early, as it says in the ticker down below. Steps 4, 5, and 6 are all three at the same time, but still in this priority or order. So you would be doing the 15% first, and you would be doing that. By virtue of that, you would be doing that before not putting money into retirement to save to upgrade your house when it is not 100% a need. So you're doing it wrong. Everybody's doing it wrong. They love to do it wrong. They like to do it their own way. But I don't know, pay extra years, is that what you mean? By paying extra to it now instead of by age 67. It doesn't say how old the person is now. It's just a title. There is no body to this post, but yeah, to take any loan, including the mortgage, all the way through its term is not the advice from Mr. Ramsey ever. Let's see what it says here. Let's take a look again, just in case he changed it in the 2 seconds before we went away from. No, it still says pay off your home early. So you're not letting it go the full 15. And if your dumbass has a 30-year mortgage, then definitely you need to kick it up a lot because you did it wrong. And you're doing it wrong still. Putting a baby into the baby steps. This by Pomegranate Tito. Too long didn't read. Finishing baby step 2. What now with baby on the way? You pause. You press the pause button on the baby steps. So you just finished step 2. Oh, you'll be finished with step 2 in November, I believe it said. Yes, in November. Okay. And so, since it's just maybe 2 weeks, and that'll happen, I would say you could go ahead and do that. Well, it depends on how long, when's the baby come? You're pregnant and stack up cash, and that's what you need to do. You pause the baby steps and you pay minimums on all your debts, and you just pile up cash to take care of any issues or just the regular expenses of delivery at a hospital. Let's see. And stock up cash. But we are convinced we could do both. And I've had November 2025 on my calendar highlighted for a couple years now. Well, that doesn't mean crap. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, to get out of debt. Oh, like I said, that I would probably let you do. If it's just 1 more month, I would probably let you do it, unless you haven't been saving money and you are far along. If you just found out recently, I would be fine letting that go, just to let you get that win. At the end, we would be fine. Let's see, for a couple of years now, because I know that was the month we would be debt free outside of mortgage. Should have planned baby better. Probably not planned. They sell tomorrow, I believe. As soon as we found out I was pregnant, we started a baby bucket in our high yield savings account. 8K so far. Okay, so they're sort of doing it. I'm due in late December. My question is, once we are done with the last debt in November, what is recommended? You just keep filling that high yield savings account. And you just pause that. You're not doing, I mean, because you'll be done with step 2, so you won't have any more non-mortgage debt. But instead of doing baby step 3, which piling up cash is baby step 3, so you're just piling it up. But right now it's earmarked just in case something happens with baby that requires more money. Should we have 2 buckets, one working on the emergency fund, full emergency fund? No, you don't need to do that. That's dumb. You don't need to do that, to separate it out like that. No, all of it goes to stork mode. All of it. Every single bit of it. The second that mom and baby are home from the hospital and you have settled with the hospital everything you owe them, then at that point, that's when you take any money left over in that stork mode fund and you throw that in your emergency fund. So hopefully you'll have enough in there that it will be the entire emergency fund, and then you can go right to step 4 without passing go. Wouldn't that be fun? So, but that's why it depends on how pregnant you are. As I would say. So, but having only 8K so far in that, I'm gonna have to have more than that. So on doing stork mode, I'm going to have more money than that. So again, if you just found out, if you're a month or 2, anything further than 2 months, I'm probably going to tell you to just pause it and be debt free later. after baby comes. Just curious, 3287, what happened, whatever happened? Yeah, see, you don't need to put the whatever or whenever. Kids love to say that, and everybody says that now. It's just what happened to the, not whatever. Because something did happen to it. Just because you don't know what happened to it, that doesn't mean whatever. It's a whatever. What happened to that 16-year-old kid who claimed to be making $50K a month drop shipping? Assuming he was telling the truth, I'd be interested to know if that was $50K a month in profit. Yeah, Mr. Ramsey generally would ask about that. If he wasn't there that day, it's possible that didn't get asked. But yeah, that could just be gross profits and not net profits. Gross sales rather. Speaking of Christmas, because of the lights, they're spider lights again, not Christmas lights, Sid. What is it? Mariah Carey. She'll be re-emerging, beaming back to our planet from wherever she goes when it's not December shortly. And I wonder how much he spent on ads, etc. For drop shipping, I don't know that you do ads. I mean, you would just put it like on eBay or something, a platform, I believe. And I guess you can maybe pay to get it highlighted or something like that. Perhaps. Okay, advertising 9601, downgrade vehicle. Maybe. Sure. Props to you for thinking of ways to make your finances better, faster. Hello. Hi, guys. I was just curious on some opinions on downgrading my vehicle based on our situation. I will soon be getting married. Congratulations. And so I want to make the best decision for our finances. Excellent. I'm currently debt-free. Excellent. And my finance has about $45K in student loans for master's degree. But other than that, we will just have our mortgage payment. We also already living together. That's not advised. We also will have some wedding expenses to pay for as well, though. I have a newer truck that seems like downgrading could help us through the wedding and pay some of the student loans off as well, maybe. It certainly might. The downgraded truck wouldn't be complete beater level to not compromise reliability. Well, again, like I said, you can buy a $2,000 car that will have fewer problems than a $20,000 truck. So, again, this is BS. People always think, though, it can't be complete beater level to not compromise reliability. Whatever you buy, have a mechanic check it out first. Just something a little older and cheaper. Hopefully okay, I don't need to read the rest of it, but yeah, do the math on it. And if the juice is worth the squeeze it. Rare cherry. And perhaps the fiancé might be able to downgrade some of her stuff too, maybe. She might be able to lower her expenses somehow. If you guys have not already combined finances, which is also not the advice. Old 401k from Rare Cherry 7343. Why does Dave and Ramsey's Solutions, because he's right about it, because he knows, because he's smarter than you. Let's see, though. Recommend transferring old 401ks into an IRA, and they also recommend backdoor Roth IRA, on the other hand, if you are above the income limit. Yeah. Due to the pro rata rule, you will get roughed up in taxes if you do this. This doesn't make sense. Any ideas? Well, it's to get you into a Roth so you don't have to pay taxes in retirement, which is the entire idea. You should have done a Roth 401k if you had the option to begin with. And then you could transfer it to a Roth IRA without any taxes in it, because you would have already paid the taxes on it. So, but if you do it from a traditional 401k, you did not pay taxes on it because they give you the tax break on that end on the low amount of contributions that you put in. But then the gains, if you have any appreciable time in the market, the gains are going to be that much. Do you want to pay taxes on this much now? Or do you want to pay taxes on this much later? And, you know, people always come up with the, you know, the financial bros always come up with the, oh, well, you know, you'll be in a lower tax bracket. Then it's bull crap. It's still going to be less. Almost always. First. Vader's. Okay. Vader with a T. 27 pay periods in 2026. Smaller checks every 2 weeks. I just got a warning from HR that my paychecks in 2026 will be smaller. Okay. I mean, I guess if you're salary, it is. If you're hourly, it's not. That's why maybe you shouldn't be. Well, you know, everybody says, "Oh, salary is the best," and it is sometimes if it's more. But so many managers lose money by not working by the hour, and managers often do not have that option to do that. And so then maybe you don't take that management job if that, again, the juice has to be worth the squeeze. For that, let's say I get paid every 2 weeks, and 2026 is a rare year where there will be 27 pay periods, right? So that means I will be making more money overall, and you won't. Sorry. Hopefully you already make a lot more than me. Since I'm salaried, this means my pay will be divided by 27 instead of the usual 26. I'll earn the same total amount, but my bi-weekly paycheck will be smaller. Yep. If you're paid bi-weekly and are salaried, you may want to check with your employer to see if this will be happening to you too. Yeah, it's happening to everybody probably that is getting paid bi-weekly. So how you do that is you cut expenses to the bone for 1 month and save up extra money, and so that way that will take care of that difference. Like you need to save up one paycheck's amount, or whatever the difference will be. And so just save up more money there, and hopefully you are on baby step 3 at least, and you have a full emergency fund, so that shouldn't be an issue. So that even if something comes up and it is an issue, and while I wouldn't call that an emergency, if you need the cash for something, you could, take it like just from 1 week to the next. You could do it for that. But that should only happen one time because of the money that you have in there that's additional. That basically makes up for that one extra pay period. By semi-autos, kids. Okay. The semi-autos, does that mean partial cars? Probably does not mean that. Any advice appreciated? 26-year-old man, single, 0 debt, excellent, 93K saved. 75 of that. Where do you have money? 7,500 of that is in Roth IRA. So that is not part of your buying a house thing. That stays in the Roth IRA forever. You put it there, it's for retirement. That's what you use it for. I don't want to rent. Okay. Doesn't matter what you want sometimes with financial stuff. Should I develop land and drop a single wide trailer on it to survive? Or should I take my money down south where homes are more affordable? I don't want to screw up and waste all my money. If you can't make enough money to stay in a high cost of living area and you're in a high cost of living area, then yeah, move. Do it. Yeah, you can't be in freaking Boston and be making $60,000 a year. You can't do that. That's not how that works. You cannot do that. Anywhere in the coast, especially anywhere in California, probably. You cannot do that. So that's up to you. You could also stay there and make more money somehow. But if you can't figure out how to do that, moving is reasonable. Even if it is away from all your friends and family, and I get why you wouldn't want to do that. Little lawyer 7792. Hear me out. Okay. That's HEAR. I hope you're not an actual lawyer because you can't spell worth crap. But maybe if you're an actual lawyer, maybe you just did the text-to-speech. But text-to-speech ought to be smart enough to figure out that, oh, this is not the right one. So, somebody needs to grammar check and spelling check the text-to-speech. Needs to be smart enough at this point. AI can't take care of that. 401k loan to pay off the house. And that's going to be a no matter what the situation is. That's a no and a no and a no and a no. I don't need to hear y'all. But let's see what dumbass reason. And there's some dumbassery afoot because this got contentious in the 46 comments that people left. And the mods locked it. So let's see what's up. My wife and I have been working towards getting house paid off. And of course, it's a long-winded explanation when it could be very... How come it didn't... Oh, there it is. That's not too long-winded. Some expenses. What expenses? They better not be dumbass stuff. Prevented us from consistently paying extra towards it. Okay. Oh, getting house paid off by May 2026. Okay. May 2026 would be 16 years early on a 30-year loan. You should not have done that, but you are paying it if it's going to be paid 16 years early. That's a 14-year time period. And so that is exactly what you should do. Pay it like it's a 15. Actually, you should pay it more off quicker, which you are going to do just by a little bit. You should have been doing that all along instead of having perhaps these unnecessary expenses. But definitely be vague on those, so we can't judge you for it. I'm judging anyway because I always think the worst because generally people are nutty and will be doing the worst thing. I'm projecting we're still going to owe $20,000 in May 2026. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter what little thing you put on your calendar. If finances don't allow you to do that, you don't do that. And one of the things you don't do is pay the penalty for taking out 401k loan money. You don't do that. That's a no. When you tap your 401k, when you're retired, it's a retirement account. It's called a retirement account. So that's when you get your hands on that money would be that time. When do you get the equity in your house? By taking a HELOC, home equity line of credit? No, you get that money when you sell it is when you get that equity. So that would be the only times that happens. Would it be so crazy to take a 401k and pay the house off? Yes, because you're a dumbass. Just so you can get it done by your little date, you're going to pay all that money in taxes and the penalty. I keep the interest anyways. The obvious answer is here is you're an idiot. I called you dumbass. So yeah. So what? You'll just pay the house off a few months later than expected. Exactly. I know, but why not? Because that's not the Ramsey advice. If you just want to go by, oh, Mr. Ramsey is smarter than I am. I mean, if you're not admitting that, why are you on the Dave Ramsey subreddit? Unless it's to argue with everything. If you just want to do what you want to do, go ahead and take out your dumbass 401k loan if you would like to do that, sir or madam. Sir, I believe. But otherwise, it's because you see the Ramsey advice involves you being intentional. And guess what? When you put your money into a retirement account, that is what it's for. It's not for paying the house off early, you idiot. There you go. I called you your name. What you wanted. So you just, yeah. But why not? I mean, dead ass. Why? How old? Didn't say how old. Probably not very old. I don't know. People have been saying dead ass for a long time. Why not do it right now? Because it's dumb as crap. Because it's just, again, the juice not worth the squeeze there. You are better off leaving that money there. And, oh, I got a great idea. How about you cut out some other bull crap expenses that you're doing? Which I bet there are some. If there's not, apologies, but I bet there are some. I'm used to paying a certain amount anyways. Let's pay off my house and that. No. So I'm not paying interest. No. You keep even the interest is not gonna offset the penalty and taxes for taking that out. And then use that mortgage payment to pay out my 401k of loan. That will literally make me money. No, it will not. You've done your math wrong. You are an idiot. You're doing math wrong. And people love to think they're doing math correctly, and they're not. Nutty. Ramsey-ish. This from deleted. And, of course, people said, don't be Ramsey-ish. What is it? 70 comments. I love Dave Ramsey, and so comments probably said, if you love Dave Ramsey, why are you trying to be a dumbass and do dumbass stuff and not do Ramsey advice? And I believe in those principles and formula to get out of debt. Well, that's it. And live debt-free. No, period. Instead of the comma, but, the only but involved is you because you're continuing to say but. Again, if you want to do some dumbass crap, knock yourself out and do it. But don't even say you're Ramsey-ish. Don't even have anything to do with Mr. Ramsey if you don't like his principle. But you say you do. If you like his principles are the advice. They are the advice. Let's see. But I have to admit, as much as I try to live by his standards of no eating out, no doing nothing until you're, okay, got a great idea. Learn some freaking English as well. It's Y-O-U''R-E. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, no, in this case, it is. I was thinking you're debt and thought that's right. But no, it's until you are debt-free. So it's, yeah, Y-O-U''R-E is hard. Wah. Quit being a whiny baby. Be an adult. And tell yourself no to eating out. If you can't do that, if you know that's the right thing to do and you can't do that, then you need psychological help. BetterHelp. John Deloney has a code for that, I believe, that will give you a discount. I'm sure it's on the Google. I've paid about $20K in credit loans and personal debt this year, but still enjoy going out and spending money on other things outside of debt. Go ahead. You're not doing the Ramsey advice. I wouldn't even say that's Ramsey-ish. You're not doing it. If I die tomorrow, what was it all worth? Paying the debt. So what if you live, though? What if you live another 100 years? What if that? See, people are so dumb. Justification station again. You're so dumb. So I decided to enjoy the small things and outings. And what's a way I can be more disciplined in the baby steps? Yes, I budget. Well, if you budget and you are eating out and you do not put any eat out money in the budget, then you're breaking the budget. Then you're doing it wrong. So you can say you're budgeting, but you're not sticking to it. And so the idea would be to be an adult and stick to it. Quit being a dumbass. Quit being a dumbass. I wish somebody had yelled at me like that. ATK. ATX, Book Dragon. SEP IRA or Roth 401k. You can do a SEP 401, I think. I think there's a... the SEP IRA is the amount. The SEP IRA limits. And your SEP contribution limit is the lesser 25% of employees' compensation or $70,000. So yeah, so you can't do that in an IRA. So the only way you could get that much in an IRA is to do a backdoor Roth every single year, and you'd be behind, et cetera, because the Roth IRA is only $8,000 a year, I think now, or maybe $7,500. I never remember what it is for young people and olds like myself. Roth limits. Bum, 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 bum. Yep, the type. Come on. 7,000 and 8,000 for olds, and youngs are 7,000. Yeah. So see, that is not as much. Now, what you can do is you can open both, and you can do prioritize the Roth IRA before you would prioritize the rest of it, but hopefully you're making enough money where $7,000 or $8,000 isn't 15% of your income. It's way less than that, and so you would be needing to invest more money, and so that's when you would do the Roth SEP. I think you can do that though. Let's see, Roth SEP 401k. I don't know if they have that. I know they have a Roth SEP IRA. Oh wait, no, the IRA is Roth SEP IRA contribution limits. Is that the same? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, it's the same. So yeah, you see the Roth SEP IRA is equal to the self-employed person. That's their Roth 401k basically, and they would be paying taxes on the contributions already and not have to pay any in retirement, which is the beauty of Roth, and which is why that is always the Ramsey advice. How to do Dave's good advice. Now I think of that. Didn't think of that while I was writing the how to do the baby steps right song. DM Candy. It's a 3. Maybe backward. Maybe it's supposed to be an E. I don't know. Mod. Oh, read this is not that hard. Yeah, this is where the people, I read this before. This is where it was sticky to the top, so that's where I saw it. Didn't know they posted it here too. But yeah, and I'm sure nobody's doing it. But one of the rules is you give people the Ramsey advice first, and then you can go off into whatever your wrong bull crap is. And if you don't do that, then they apparently delete comments or block you from the thread or whatever, from the subreddit rather. What up, Robert? Did I move again? Yes, I moved again. Yeah. Oh, I've been working on since. I've been working since late June. So, and yes, I did move again. And there's a much, much better apartment. Road Rage 90, cut costs, healthcare insurance. Did I read this before where the guy wanted to not bring in more income? I'm considering not enrolling in healthcare coverage from my employer this year. The premiums are $660 a month. They cover 0% until you pay an additional $5,000. Right, that would be your deductible. See if you can get private insurance by yourself then. Cheaper than that. Then only a portion of approved expenses. So they might have a crappy healthcare plan, and that's fine. See if you can get it cheaper somewhere. Getting insurances in place is baby step 0. It's part of baby step 0. Something you should do even before you start baby step 1. So that's important. And that is covered by the Ramsey advice, of course. It doesn't say it in the baby steps unless you happen to read up on step 0. Which is not actually, I don't think it's listed anywhere on the Ramsey Solutions website, but several, I guess fans have made web pages about it and stuff. You can do like Google Images and see a nice chart that's kind of like this that has all that on there. And it includes, I'll tell you better, what might be on there, Steve, you ask, and I'll tell you. It is, of course, like I said, get insurances in place. You get, you get current on on all bills, on all debts. You get current on that. If it's already in collections, you just leave it in collections. And don't worry about it until the end of your baby step 2 list. What else is there? You would make sure you have the 4 walls, housing, transportation, clothing. Shouldn't be spending much on that at all, if any. Don't have to spend any on clothes. I didn't. And what was the other one? Food, very important. Or you won't live if you don't eat food. How long ago was that for Robert? 8:56. That was, he might have bounced. I know, he might be still be here. Maybe didn't have a follow-up question. That could happen. Deleted. Comments must have got too hot. Only 4 of them. This company opened multiple UTMA accounts. Yeah, I don't remember what that stands for, but I believe you can open that at any brokerage. Can't remember again what that is. Uniform transfers to minors. Yep. And everybody wants to do that and start that instead doing the baby steps. So that would be more of a maybe step 5 you would do it, but you would not start it before then. That's a no. You put on your oxygen mask first before you put on your child's. Your child does have time to work on their own. Were you given money by your parents? Understand you might want to do better than your parents. Do a little bit better than them. Last of Us, season 2. But you wouldn't do that before you were on baby step 7. So you're doing it wrong. But as far as opening it, you can open that, I believe, at any brokerage. Oh, if I should go through Fidelity or Schwab, I haven't used other brokerages, so I don't know. But I do know with my Fidelity account, I can buy Vanguard mutual funds. I can buy Schwab mutual funds. I can buy those through Fidelity. So the only reason you should stay away from a particular brokerage, or this is why you don't put your retirement account in a bank, because they have painfully sucky investment options. Black Otter career advise. This is the wrong one. Person earlier used the right one. This would be career advice. That would be a C in there. Advise. This is advise. This is what I'm doing. What you're asking for is advice, and I'm advising you on that advice. Chance to get it all back. Let's see. A few months ago, I posed a question about whether it'd be a good idea to help the company I was working for set up a new branch several hours away from everything I had known. I don't remember that one, I don't think. I decided to go for it. Would you go for it? I let it slip. Yo. And then, of course, I go into I'm much more familiar with the Weird Al song. So I would go, remote is ready, eyes wide, palms are sweaty. The Flintstones on the TV already, Wilma and Betty. And I decided to go for it and have been laid off since then. Boop, 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 doo. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. You do a solid for the company. You take a risk for the company. And then they don't do a solid back for you by, well, we won't lay you off then, Bubba. We appreciate that very much. But you don't know. That could always, that can happen at any time. Especially there's some states where you can be fired or quit for any reason at any time. While I was up there, the military college I'd gone to from 17 to 19 called me and asked if I had any plans of coming back. I had left because the program that was being started had fallen apart. Okay. After several long conversations with the school, they are seeing a lot of people who had left due to COVID come back after they had gone to enlist. Okay. Oh, military college and then enlisted. Okay. My backup plan was to commission upon graduation. Anyone who wants to can commission in the, what's this, baby step 3 that says? Can commission in the Army at this school and serve. Okay. I need 0.5 credits to qualify to go back, since they want to make sure I can take college level courses before going back. Here's the dilemma. Enlist and do 4 years and get a degree while in/upon leaving. While in. And then, I think is how this should be. Get a degree while you're in the military, and then upon leaving. What? I don't know, while in upon leaving. I don't know. Does that mean you can be enlisted in the school and also be serving? I don't know exactly what that is. Or take classes next semester and summer and apply to go back. I'm pretty sure I know what Dave and company would say. The freeway would be what he would suggest, I believe. But I have a huge emotional investment in this school, and see, that's not how we decide what school to go to. An emotional investment, especially if it's going to cost more money. So And would love to go back and finish what I started. Regardless of what path I choose, I will wait until I hear back from the school before making a final decision. You should get all the information you can and realize that no matter what you do, it might not work out for you, just like it didn't work out for you when you opened a new branch location for a company, which sucks. I feel you on that, dog. A lot of companies do not appreciate you, even when you do stuff, and they say, oh, take one for the team, or to, oh gosh, what's the HR way to say it? Like some bosses will say, can you do me a favor? And, I will do what you tell me to do because I'm working for you. But if that involves me doing work on the weekends and not getting paid for it, that's going to be a nar. So, stay and do work, and not get your entitled break, even though you're entitled to the break. Instead of doing that, no, I get it. If it's a busy time and we need to do that, you can delay lunch or delay a break. There's no problem with that, but not getting it at all would be the problem. And it should be considered overtime if you're not given that at all. So you can't let companies take advantage of you. I can also see what scholarships grants are available to me to make the cost of attendance even smaller. I qualify for enough off the bat to knock the cost down to 60%. And at this point, I do not think I could go back to school without going into debt. Well, that's going to be a no. I thought you're going to serve, aren't you? Got a great idea? Got a great idea? Got a great idea? Got a great idea? Great idea? Great idea? Do 4 years in the Army, and then you have the GI Bill. I'll be here all week. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. And that's a no. Just because you want to do it away doesn't mean that that's the best way to do it. But knock yourself out. So, the way it worked out before, that didn't work out for you. And that's rough. But that wasn't necessarily going against the Ramsey advice. If you're going to debt for college, you're going against the Ramsey advice, regardless of whether you think it'll be worth it or not. So again, you're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit. You are saying what baby step you're on. What baby step is that? See that? What is that? 3. Okay. And yet you shouldn't be paying for any school or anything like that before you get your full emergency fund either. So you're doing several things wrong, and that may be, oh, this person didn't delete it. I can say that maybe why delete it. Chance to get it all back. Yeah, you can get it all back debt free if you serve in the military. Then you get a GI Bill free, or you wait and save up the money for your college. Ordinary Bud 4840. Callers, did you read the YouTube comment section? How was it? I think I read this one. Not sure if I get a response to this one. Seems like it would carry a lot of embarrassment. I always think I'm going to sneeze and I don't. And it goes away. Or was I? Would carry a lot of embarrassment. Not really. Nobody knows who you are, really. So, you can even change your name and stuff. They only give the first name. And they change the name of the city if you would like. So, not really. Does anybody know someone who called the show? What was it like for them after? Yeah, as a rule, you don't generally go into the comments. Now, I do, because I do want people's feedback, and if they want to be a troll, I'll troll them right back. Especially because they always get things wrong and I can correct it on them, including the English language, including the Ramsey advice, including stuff about Oak Island. So I don't mind waiting but for the average person, I would stay out of the YouTube comments, because guess why? Guess why? You called the experts. You've already talked to the experts on the Ramsey show. You don't need to hear about what some dumbass in the YouTube comments has to say about it, do you? You don't. Just like anybody, nobody has to care about my opinion of their little financial plan. I am just saying what it is in regard to the Ramsey advice. Jelly Pine Fruit, question about the snowball. I have 3 credit card debts. MX Blue 1, very nice. I'm being sarcastic. $2,000 with equal payment plan. I don't know what equal payment plan means. Let's see if this is just one of those financial bro things that I don't know. Equal payment plan. Credit card. Seems like it might be something. Equal payment account on credit card allows you to pay for a purchase in fixed monthly installments, often with no interest, but sometimes with a fixed monthly fee. The buy now, pay later, that's debt. And so that's all going to be a no. That's all a no. Why would you think that would be an exception, you idiot? The same reason people think that if I use a credit card for the reward points and I just buy stuff I was going to buy anyway and I pay it off all the time, because the second you swipe it, it is debt. And Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy. So you can do what you want to, but that's not his advice. What else do we have? So that doesn't matter. Are you justification stationing it? Or trying to get out of paying that one off? Are you trying to get out of paying that one off? Are you trying to get out of paying it off because there's no interest on it? Interest doesn't matter. It's smallest to largest amount. And so 2,000 is probably going to be the first one. So quit your dumb crap. Follow the advice. It's very easy to understand. But people like this don't want to understand it because they don't want to do smallest to largest. They don't want to do it Dave's way. 2,900 Rogers. I don't know what that is. A bank or something. 1,500. We equal payment plan. I don't give it. If I follow baby step 2, I would clear Rogers first. Bull crap if you wouldn't. If you would, you would be doing the 2,000. However, I'm confused since my lowest CD balance are both in equal payment plans. Is it still wise to pay off the smallest balance first? Yes. You're just an idiot for getting those other ones with, you're an idiot for any debt, even if it doesn't have interest on it. But you're more so an idiot for the debt that has interest on it. And so that's just your stupid tax. The whole thing is your stupid tax. You not being able to spend that money on something else, like going out to eat. That's your stupid tax for being a dumbass. I was a dumbass too. And so I paid stupid tax. However, do I stick to the monthly American Blue and Rogers and clear the Cobalt first? You do the lowest, the smallest first. That's this one. It's smallest to largest. What don't you understand about that? It's the debt snowball. And that's what snowball is, because it starts with the lowest one, just a little bit of snow. And then as it rolls downhill, it keeps getting more and more snow added to it, and it becomes a bigger snowball. And means it becomes more amount that you're throwing to debt every freaking paycheck until that debt is gone. So everybody wants to, try to work around it so they can do it like they want, or they think they found a special way to do it. Oh, a little bit, and sometimes it may actually work. The math may work out. But the thing that's going on here is behavior change, not math working out for you. It's not going to be that much different. You should be paying this stuff off, especially they are not tons of money. It's 2,000. 29. Oh, I see. MX. Oh, so the Rogers one is 1,500. Okay, so yeah, that would be the first one, 1,500, and then the 2,000, and then the 2,900. Why do you think you have to do something different than that? Because they are such low amounts, you should be able to pay them off very quickly. If not, get a second job. Cut your budget. If you don't have a budget, you need a budget. Sarah Here and Now is a frequent poster, I believe. Work-life balance. Newly single parent here, and I recently found out my partner was cheating, stole from me. If it was not your husband or wife, it should have been. Because you shouldn't have combined finances. You did it wrong. But I know that's the cheating sucks, the stealing sucks, and the tricking you into paying into what I thought was a savings account for a child, but it was actually his. Yeah. That sucks to high heaven. It certainly does. So I ended up in a really rough financial spot. I used my remaining savings to buy something affordable. To buy what affordable? A house? And built a small emergency fund. Tried to find local work, but there wasn't much, so I had to dip into that fund to get by. After retraining and job hunting for a while, finally found a good paying job. Great. But it's some distance away. The catch is it means I only get to see my 4-year-old daughter every other day. Oh, so the cheating and stealing and tricking partner has custody. So hopefully your lawyer didn't suck. Hopefully you just didn't give up equal custody. And maybe you do have equal, but it sounds like the partner is getting basically like full custody. We don't have lawyers and are trying to arrange things amicably. Yeah, see, you trying to arrange things amicably is why you don't have full custody. And then you could get child support. And as far as moving away, that may be something that he would ask for, or his lawyer would advise him to ask for, that you don't move away. And so that would all have to be worked out, but you can't be, the time to be amicable would have been before the partner did all that. So, and that's why you don't do things like have children or shack up or buy into anything with a partner. You do that with a spouse, a husband or wife. Zooder, Mr. Zood? No, Zood, Mr. What is that? Zood, MC Zood, okay. Dave contradicts himself. I love these because the people always, 100% of the time, they have done math wrong, or they think Dave said something that he didn't say. So let's find out. Let's see what's going on. He preaches. That's right. 110 comments. Locked. Got contentious in there. Once you're out of debt, have emergency fund and investing for retirement. And again, that whole thing about what they say as part of their rules, and that it's not that hard, is this is a forum for the Ramsey advice. So if you don't like it, you don't have to follow it, but you don't need to come here and do that. That is ridiculous. Let's Once you're out of debt, have an emergency fund investing for retirement, you should then focus on throwing everything at paying off the house. That is correct. Well, also kid college if you are choosing to do that. But then he also says that no home is a forever home. That's correct as well. We're correct so far. And you'll be in a new one in 5 years. Not everybody will be. But that doesn't change anything about his advice. I'm lost here. Let's see what the problem is. Is that the case, then why would I focus on paying off an asset that I'm not going to own in 5 years? You will get that money back in equity when you sell it, when you move, if you move. So this is not contradicting himself. This is you nitpicking to try to be right about something and trying to be anti-Dave Ramsey advice. Again, you can do whatever dumb crap you want to do. You don't have to put it in here. You don't have to even run it by the, you don't have to look at the baby steps and run your life by it. If you don't want to do any of this stuff, you can just do your own dumb crap. But normally people come across Dave Ramsey when they put in, oh, I'm having money problems, or oh, I got debt. So quit being a dumbass. And do it your way if you want to do it. But otherwise, this is not contradicting himself. You pay off the house regardless until you move. Even if you know you're going to move, and no, see, we don't know the future. How many people have said, oh, we're going to move next year, and then something happens, maybe you get a big raise, who knows? Who knows? Anything could happen, and maybe you don't move then, and so why weren't you paying into it? You know, of course, people say, well, if I was saving up a down payment for a new one, and then I can throw it to there. No, you should be paying it off the entire time, and so that way it's already paid off. So the advice is the way it is because that's the way the advice is, and none of the statements that you said is in contradiction to you should be paying the house off. So that's dumb. And your logic escapes you. You have none. What is that? Sausage purveyor? Okay. Sausage seller, maker. Questions about debt and investing. Hello, married, 39 and 41, no kids, not having them. Alrighty. I make $125,000 a year in a relatively low cost of living area. My wife is a SBO, small business owner. Figured it out without looking it up. With social anxiety issues. Hopefully the small business is not customer facing, or she hired somebody to do the work at the front counter, that kind of thing. Her business pays for itself and a bit extra. Okay, so if the business brings in the exact amount that the business costs to run, then you're not making any profit. And so if this bit extra is a little amount, then don't do that business. Again, this is the juice has to be worth the squeeze episode, I guess. Maybe I'll throw that in the title. The juice has to be worth the squeeze for that. And, you know, some people might hold on to a business. If it's not losing them money, but not making them much either, they might do that. But that does seem like a waste of time. How about we do something with our lives that we can make money? If you're going to be working in a job, why not bring home money on it and not just have it all going out the door on expenses for the business? Where are we at? And a bit extra. So again, so vague. They always want to tell you the interest rate, which doesn't change the advice, but they don't tell you things that are necessary, like how much profit the business is actually making. But my builder went to prison for attempted murder of a LEO, some lead executive officer. And we had to take HELOC. Had to. No, you didn't. The builder going to prison doesn't affect you. Oh, well, yeah, actually, if these make building your house, yeah, that sucks. That's rough. You'll have to wait in line for money, probably. So, yeah, that sucks. So I get why you did that. But had to take out the HELOC? No, you didn't. You chose to do that. Again, people say had to and need way too much when regarding finances, especially the Ramsey advice. Because the Ramsey advice is you didn't need to do that. You chose to do that. That was your choice. You did not have to. $60K, $600 a month, to fix everything that was wrong with the house. No. You didn't need to fix everything that was wrong with the house. You did not have to do that. What you could have done instead was, if there was something that didn't work, like water pipes or something like that, then sure. But again, this would be the same thing as, do you need a $2,000 car or a $10,000 car? Knowing full well that the $10,000 car could run into more problems than the $2,000 car would be. Everything, it doesn't have to have everything wrong with it fixed right this second. That's not an emergency. Doesn't have to be. We had no avenue to get payment, and if you didn't have a full emergency fund, you shouldn't have bought a house anyway. You're doing it wrong if that's the case. We had no avenue or a lane or I live on a loop actually now, not a street, not a drive, not a road, not an avenue, but a loop. No avenue to get payment / repair for the items that needed to be repaired under warranty. We drained our savings making repairs before we took the HELOC. Okay, and if they're repairs, again, that's exactly what the emergency fund is for. But if it's just to make the house nice, and there was probably some crap like that going on, because look, it's a locked post, 42%. We have no credit card debt. Doesn't matter. The HELOC is the same thing as credit card debt. You're back on baby step 2, my friend. So yeah, wife needs to do a job that makes some money, probably, so you can pay that off faster. We have no credit. F-150 note for $1K a month. Yeah, you're doing it wrong. Has 4 years left on payment. Wife's vehicle 17 Fusion is paid off, but had their transmission go out on it. Didn't want to flush what little we had built back up in the emergency funding, so we took an $8,000 loan from the bank to pay for it. Okay, you just want to do debt then. You just want to, debt is the run. Let's run to debt. Let's run to debt. Let's run to debt. That's part of baby step 0 as well. Talked about baby step 0 earlier. And one of the parts of it is that you decide you're not going to do this dumbass debt stuff anymore. And you're going to pay off the dumbass debt that you have already. And you're not going to take out any more, with the exception of maybe a house that you live in. There is no rental mortgage. If you're buying rentals, that has to be completely in cash per the Ramsey advice. Insurance and benefits are $700 per month. Okay. Should I be contributing to my 401k? No, you're on step 2. While I have this debt and only 2 months of savings, yes, you should only have, you're on step 2. You should only have $1,000 in savings. And people are dumb as crap because guess what? Guess what happens? Guess what happens? Guess what happens? If you don't have any debt, or you had debt and you pay it all off, and then you have a full emergency fund, right? And then you take out more debt, guess what? You're not an honorary legacy member of Step 3, the Step 3 Club. First rule about Step 3 Club is you do not talk about Step 3 Club. So you don't get an honorary membership to Step 3. Guess what? You take out 1 cent of debt that's not on a mortgage for a house that you live on, you're back in baby Step 2. So that means you should only have the $1,000 from this step. You don't have the 3 to 6 months from this step. People are nutty. It seems like it would be easy to understand. Again, they just don't want to. He wants to do it his own dumbass way, just like he did it his own dumbass way by borrowing money all the time. So you should not be contributing while you're paying off the debt. And you should have less than 2 months of savings. It should only be $1,000. I have very little in my 401k. That's because you're being a dumbass with money. Took funds out for down payment on our home. Yep. And you see, so it's not always so lovely. People, especially in Texas, it seems like, but people, a lot of places, I want to buy land and have a home custom built there. How about we don't do that? And how about we pick from the available homes that are already built? It can be a new one, but on those, you're going to have fewer problems and it's going to cost more for you to get your house custom built. Or your builder, guess what? Your builder could go to prison. Okay? If you are thinking about buying a house that is being built in a housing community, in a neighborhood, whatever, the owner of that is building it. The builder is on the hook for that. You're not involved with it until it's done and you say, oh, I like this, I want this. Look, there's not going to be any trouble. I don't give a crap if you didn't buy the land first and if it didn't get exactly the way you would like it. Now you can you can change some things about houses if they're not built yet. And that the builder still owns, but you're going to need to throw some earnest money their way, I would imagine, in order to start any like customization like that. And I don't know where, I've never done that, so I don't know where in the process that would become, oh, well, you got to have the mortgage already. I don't know. I don't know if you got to start the mortgage already or just put X amount down. That will cover the amount of the customization maybe. And then you're just out of that money if you decide not to buy it maybe. But you're not stuck with the house and the builder in prison. If the builder goes to prison, then that's whoever owns the house. That's their problem. In this case, it's yours because you were a dumbass. Trying to get out of debt and prepare for retirement. You need to stop being a dumbass and running to debt every time there's a problem to do that. I don't want to work and worry about being on a fixed income. You can't do both at the same time. You can't run to debt all the time and then expect your finances to get better. Can't happen. Just like you can't spend the same dollar bill on 2 different things that cost $1. Cannot do that. Made some poor choices in the past that have put me where we are, but I'm trying to get out. What should we be doing? You should be following the freaking baby steps, and you're on step 2, pay off that $60,000. The wife may have to get a real job instead of doing whatever boutique business or whatever it is that's barely bringing in any money that it sounds like. I don't know. I would need to know the exact numbers that is happening and whether or not, because you would hate to think that she's putting in, maybe even over 40 hours in her own business and, net profit is 20K a year, where you could work at the Taco Bell and make more than that. So fewer hours as well and make more than that. So just to have your own, I understand, oh, I want to be cute and have my own business. I don't give a crap about that. I want your finances to be better. But people are nutty and they're going to do stuff like that all the time. Oh my goodness gracious me, 1 hour and 40 minutes. I knew I was a little bit over. Again, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, or Vanguard. The only thing that would separate these and make me choose one over the other would be if they had limited investment opportunities. Which, as I said, I can buy a Vanguard fund or a Charles Schwab fund from my Fidelity account. I don't, because I don't necessarily need their brand name on a mutual fund. I need it to be, bringing in a lot of money. So that would be the thing. And again, that's why we don't have retirement accounts at banks, because theirs suck. Their investment options suck. And also, you still got to watch out with any of these, with Charles Schwab and Fidelity and Vanguard. You still got to watch out for that. And sometimes it's the brokerage, sometimes it's what the employer wants, but sometimes there are only sucky investing options in your retirement plan at your company, and they're bad. And that's when you would, if it's worth it, that's when you would prioritize if it's worth even staying with that instead of doing all your own investing, prioritize the Roth IRA first. Because in that, you can open that at Fidelity, and then you can buy whatever investments you want instead of being on whatever dumbass target date fund that they have for you. So I need to do the math again, but I'm pretty sure that where I work, for example, the plan in there, the fund that's making the most money, that does not make more than a fund that I can buy through Fidelity myself in my Roth IRA. Even when you add the 3% that they give, it still doesn't make as much money for that. So that's a net loss, even if they're throwing in 3% to make it better. So I do need to do the math on that again to make sure, but and I'll report back at some point on that. But so that's when you would prioritize your Roth IRA. And that's not and they run that through Fidelity, and so that's not Fidelity's fault, because for Fidelity, well, I'll take that back. That's not the fault of not being able to buy a different fund through Fidelity, any funds you want to. It's that this particular retirement plan doesn't allow it. They have, and I'll have to check again. I think they are all index funds, but I looked at all of them and picked the best one, and then realized that was the case. So I will check out on the math to make sure. But that's when you would, if one of those, if Vanguard doesn't allow you to do that, buy the best fund, even if it's with another brokerage, then you don't go. Like for example, the Fidelity, it's at Fidelity, right? My 401k, Roth 401k is at Fidelity. But it is a T-row target date fund. All of the funds are T-row, I believe. And so, why they would limit you to that, I don't know. I don't know if that keeps the cost down for the employer or keeps the cost down for Fidelity or makes it less work by just throwing everybody in a dumbass target date fund. that makes less money and doesn't even make it worth it. Doesn't even make it trying to get the match worth it even. And that sucks. Meow. What is it? Meow. I always forget I can do that and make it bigger. Meow X Meow Wow. Okay. Meow Wow. 2 W's at the end. Paid off my student loans today. Excellent. After 10 years, we've been on our own. Moss grows fat on a rolling stone. Finally, beyond happy. All credit card debt is paid off. Check mark. Excellent. All student loans are paid off. Only thing remaining is my car, $70K. I got this. Yes, you do. You just keep going. You don't change anything. You do it the same way you did that. If anything, you get more intense if that's the only non-mortgage debt you have. Thank you all for your motivation. Baby step 2, flare. Excellent. Let's do one more. 15K in student loans. What would you do? I would have you, I don't know. Maybe you follow the baby steps just like everyone else. See, this is the thing too. Everybody wants to be a little snowflake. Everybody wants to be special. Everybody wants to change things based on their little situation because they had to do something, because they need something, and that's all bullcrap. That's a no. A 15K left on my student loans for my master's degree. My husband and I want to pay it off this year, and we have the means and the drive to do so. Then that means you freaking do it, and there's no, see, you end it there, and so we're going to pay it off. Yay. And that should be the end of it. However, if I make the minimum payment for 120 payments, I am on payment 79. I will receive 5K in student loan forgiveness due to my job. No, no, and no. You don't do that. You borrow the money, you pay it back, is the Ramsey advice. Do we say forget it? Yes. You want to keep it around. This is what Mr. Ramsey says. So directly out of his mouth, you want to keep it around like it's a pet. How about you be debt-free instead? How about you follow the Ramsey advice, shut up and do it, or you can do whatever dumb crap you want to do. Just, you don't need to ask here then. You don't need to even consider doing any of the Ramsey advice then. Why? Why? If he's not right about that, then why would he be right about anything? Is the logical way you should come at it. But people, again, are not logical and they are nutty. Do we say forget it and pay it off now? Yes. Or just ride out into 3.5-ish years like it's a pet on the minimum payment until we're eligible for 5K forgiveness. Thanks. So for 5K, you're going to keep the debt around for 3.5 years. You are a dumbass. Baby step 7 starts today. Excellent. The grass does feel greener when you own it. We're debt free. Need advice? I have a big loan on my house and don't know what to do. Sell it, move down in house. Simple, short question. Simple, short answer. That means you don't get to keep it. If it was too much loan, if you took out too much loan, you're house poor, and so you don't get to keep it. Sorry. We'll see what this baby step 2 update is for this on the next after show. There will not be one tomorrow, as I am working in the morning and the Washington Commanders play, albeit without quarterback Jaden Daniels, on Monday Night Football, playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and I believe that is at Kansas City, so that won't be fun. Last week did not have any of their top 3 receivers. And Jaden Daniels got hurt. So this week it's going to be Marcus Mariota quarterbacking. But we get the top 2 receivers back, probably. McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. So we'll see. We'll see. The Chiefs have not been as good this year. So just like Washington hasn't been either. So we'll see on that. For anyone wondering if they should pay off the mortgage, the answer is do it. Yep. I wonder why they would close that one. Well, I don't know. Somebody probably got mad about it. No, you shouldn't. I want to disagree with the Ramsey advice, dumbass. People are nutty. Would you sell your truck if you were me? And when people bring it up, if they even bring it up, they probably should definitely do that. Because otherwise, if there wasn't some kind of problem, they wouldn't necessarily do that. Like nobody's on, step 7 trying to sell a truck, or probably even step 4 trying to sell a truck. But every once in a while there will be, and it can still improve your finances because you can put that money to steps 4, 5, and 6. I'm talking. That's talking about because you wouldn't have that. That wouldn't be debt at that point. But yeah, if there's a loan on it, then yes, definitely. Savings tip music. Okay. On lifetime streaming, fun times. $1,100 lifetime streaming. Or you could listen to the song for free on the, what is that called? The YouTube. Forgot what YouTube was for a second there. Oh, let's see. Shell 9 minutes ago. Sorry about that. Currently don't have my headphones on, but wanted to say hi. Oh, that's nice. Thanks, Shell. And do I sell the car? Again, if you're asking, most times it is going to be a yes, pay out the house, or do what with it? And just ride out the thing again, it's to pay out the house. If it's just, do I pay out the house or should I use the money for something else? Obviously, if you're in step 2, use the money for step 2 instead of paying off the house. You should not be putting extra on the house. But we'll look at all of the details there, these people's situations that don't change the advice. Everydell app doesn't remove the debt category. Oh, even if you are out of debt, yeah, it should like go. But you know what? The programming might be a lot harder for you to have the debt category there and use it, and then you get out of debt, and then if they take away the debt category, and then what if your dumbass gets back into debt? That's probably why. I'm guessing. I don't know for sure on that though. Need advice? Currently live in Ohio. Hey, me too. OH. Looking for a way to turn money into a job. All right. Well, you got to find out what will make money that you can invest in and make money. But generally, especially if one person is asking it, and that was a 62-year-old, you're going to want that to be the investment to be almost 100% your time in it that brings in the money, not some, you're not buying a McDonald's franchise, for example. Need advice, regret 10 years. Where did all Ken Coleman's videos go? His career thing, I don't think he's doing that show anymore because he's got a new show. I don't know that all the videos are gone though. Alrighty. Once again on this extra long 2-hour presentation. Did not plan to go this long, but I just hadn't done one in a while and I missed it. If you are having money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, or if you need to be told you're a dumbass for doing it wrong, I will do that. The Ramsey, you can do the you can schedule that free consultation with me, an assessment of your finances, by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can also send any type of financial questions or anything else like that there. The appointments are video conferencing, and so we'll make out a time and a date for that. Darn it. Where was I? Oh, donations. I'm past it now. I'll catch up. Donations, paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, Cash App, $Coach Steve Money, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, as always, subject to change. The Ramsey Show After Show. No stream tomorrow, as I said, Monday morning or Monday night. Busy. Tuesday through Thursday, October 26th through the 30th, and that's 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, right after the Ramsey Show is done on YouTube. Your financial questions streams, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Saturday and or Sunday, plus possibly an after show or night stream on Halloween, because I'm off, have to go to the doctor. So if that's going to be around after show time, it'll be a night stream like this one is. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And if you you've done those already, thanks so much. Much appreciated. Alrighty then. As always, make smart financial decisions every day.